How am I going to do this? Alright, stretch. To get in tune, let's sing a song. And we're going to sing opera this time, okay? Okay, get ready. Hey, no, don't you want to sing? Go, ooh, get in tune. Oh, get in tune. Yeah. Okay, let's sing an opera song. All right, that's better.
You're a crazy dog.
Take a look at all the people that have showed up for Papa Joe. Jan, stand up, please. Jan is, as most of you know, Papa Joe's daughter. I didn't get you to sit back down. Jan came in on Thursday and was non-stop setting this up. Food preparation, getting everything. I just can't, it was just absolutely amazing what she did in those 4 days. I just have to say, Jan, thank you for getting this put together.
My pleasure. Can I sit now?
Now, just to condense, yeah, you can sit down. Just a condensed history of Papa Joe's relationship with myself and Vicki Bernard. Papa Joe was married to Vicki's sister, Rose Martin, who had passed away in 1989. He stayed with Vicki and I, Joe did, for over 20 years and lived with us in Bradenton and then now here in Little Manatee Springs. Papa Joe was a very kind, gentle person who always gave of himself. He loved to joke and kid around because he loved to see you smile and laugh out loud. He loved to make his, get this, cream of liver soup and could not understand why people would turn their nose up at him. He got so much enjoyment just helping friends. Why? Because Papa Joe was a giver and always gave of himself, always. If you needed him to walk your dog, he was there. If you needed him to give you a ride to the doctor's office, he was there. If you needed him for just about anything, Joe was there. That's what made him tick. That is what made him happy. That is what made him Papa Joe. Just a quick example of Papa Joe's giving character that some of you may remember. I remember Papa Joe collecting monies for residents who he did not know and did not want to know to help pay the lot rent. There was some in the park that had trouble in that regards. All he knew that was people in the park that was having trouble with paying the lot rent, and he took it upon himself to start a collection. He raised quite a bit of money over about a 4-month period. He then gave it to Little Manatee Springs office to distribute, earmarked for residents who are having a hard time, with the condition that they would never know who it came from. That was Papa Joe. There were so many examples of Papa Joe's giving character. He was a truly rare individual. Many of you know Papa Joe as an older person who had white hair, but that was not always the case. Papa Joe's hair used to be jet black. All right, now you're going to have to visualize this what going on with the rest of the story. One day, Papa Joe was in the bathroom, getting all spiffied up. I could tell you for what reason, but his daughter and sons are here, so we'll pause on that one. He had his shirt and pants all ironed with a sharp crease in his pants, and they're all laying on the bed. His shoes were spit polished. He had just gotten out of the shower, shaved, applying a full ration of aftershave lotion called Hot and Steamy Night in Waimama. Now, unbeknownst to me, evidently that was pretty much of a rave going on in Little Manatee Springs. And hair combed to the point that there was not one single hair out of place. He then reached down under the sink cabinet to get his hairspray. He loved his hair, and he wanted to keep it perfect. After a good liberal spraying of his hairspray, his scalp started to irritate. His hair also started to turn white. I mean, really white. I have also never in my life seen anyone's eyes open as wide as Papa Joe's in total disbelief of what physically was taking place to his hair. After a few minutes, Papa Joe had figured out what had happened. He came out to the kitchen where Vicky, my wife, was and just stared at her. Vicky, who had not realized what had happened yet, said, "What?" She then focused on his hair that was now turning white and seems to have a bright glow to it. By now, Vicky realizes that she did, or rather what she did not do, is she's trying to be very apologetic in explaining how sorry she is. However, she is also trying to keep the laughter that is building up inside her. Sort of like when you're in church and you get the giggles and it gets stronger and stronger. You're trying to suppress them. Well, Vicky didn't have that much of a, she couldn't suppress them that well. And it came out. It came out to the point where she was trying to keep herself from falling on the floor. Now, Papa Joe, for some reason that is eluding him, does not share in Vicky's amusement. You see, Vicky used to put bleach into empty spray bottles for when she would clean the bathroom, and this one was the old push-button type hairspray bottle that Vicky had not yet relabeled. That's why you only know Papa Joe with the white hair. Now, is Brenda Hartman? Yes, she is, right there. And how about Janice Bulger? Is she here? No?
Here I am.
Yes, she's there.
Oh, okay. Well, Papa Joe had asked me to give you both something.
I know what that is. We do too, yeah.
Both of you must have been very special to him. Now, I'm about to give you, what I'm about to give you is strictly from Papa Joe. I have no idea what it's in reference to. Papa Joe also stated, "I do not want to cause any trouble." But he said you both would know what it means.
He was hexing
That was a hex sign.
You know, living together with anyone for over 20 years, you pretty much have a vast amount of fun times, good times, sad times, and happy times. But you also learn the true character of that person. The true character of Papa Joe was exactly as you saw him. He wasn't pompous, he was down to earth, he was fun-loving, he enjoyed life. He was someone you just wanted to be around with. To Vicki and I, Papa Joe was more than a relative. He was a close friend, a mentor, a partner. Papa Joe's passing has left a hole in our heart. But he also left us with so many beautiful memories to help fill the holes. Papa Joe would also say, "See you when you get there." Vicki and I, response to that is, yes. Yes, you will. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming here today for the celebration of my day. I'm not going to say a whole lot. I want to thank my aunt and uncle for letting me turn their house upside down for the last month, it seems like, anyway. But thank you so much. And thank you to the ladies back there, worked so hard, helping me with everything. You know who you are. Thank you very much. Leanne, thank you. I just want to read something that my roommate found a long time ago. And I had read it to my dad, and he loved it. So I thought I would share it with you. It says, if you could see me now, you wouldn't shed a tear. Though you may not understand why I'm no longer here. Remember my spirit, that's the real me. Because I'm still very much alive. I've just been set free. Oh, if you could only see, I have beheld our Father's face, and I've touched my Savior's hand. All of heaven's angels rejoiced as I entered the promised land. Beyond the gates of pearl, I've walked on the golden streets. I've touched the walls of jasper and dipped my feet in the crystal sea. The beauty is beyond words and anything, and more than anything could compare. I've even seen your mansion, and someday I'll meet you there. Let Jesus be your guide, because his word will show you the way, so please don't cry, because we'll meet again someday. And we all will see Papa Joe again. We know that. And there's a couple of, Ron and Pat Russell had sent some things here that they wanted me to read. I'm going to do my best. Dear little manatee friends, it's with a very sad heart that Pat and I come to grips that we will no longer have our beloved Papa Joe with us. What a blessing he was in so many ways. His heart was pure gold, and his sweet ways were so gracious. Papa Joe exemplified the love of Christ.
Okay,
Pardon?
mic went off.
I think it needs a battery. I was watching it flashing. I don't know where Joe keeps the batteries.
Okay,
Okay.
how about the hand one right behind you, Jan?
Yeah, get the handheld one.
Yes. This one too. Hello? Hello? There's a button. Hello?
There you go.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Just scream, Janice,
Okay,
like you
honey.
do to me.
Oh, his humor was excellent and he shared it with all. Papa Joe was a friend you could always count on. Whatever the need, he found a way to answer it. Much of its generosity was unknown, but to a few, as Joe said, it's only money. He shared so often with those with needs, not only financially, but with this precious time. Even toward the very end, he would spend time with friends, help with things, go for walks and rides in the golf carts with our dog Lucy and many other pets. He loved his animals, especially his dog Stretch. Words just fail at this time to say how good of a man he was. He's enjoying the rewards today as he smiles down from heaven. And as he always said, I'll see you when you get there. I believe with all my heart that he's with the Lord and all of his friends who have accepted the Lord as their Savior. Just let his light shine in his quiet way. He set a great example for all of us. Love one another. Share your time and be happy, for your days are also limited. Be not a problem, but a solution. Thank you, Papa Joe, for being such a generous and sharing individual. We miss you beyond words. We look forward to seeing you when you get there. When we get there, yeah, that's it. Rest in peace, my friend, and thank you for being such a special friend, Pat and Lucy. And I'm going to ask Leanne to come up here and read this next one for me because I don't think I can do it, honey. Please come.
Saying I didn't bring my reading glasses.
Oh, well, that's what I'm having a hard time with, sugar.
So just bear with me as I look under these. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right, I really can't see this.
Very.
I'm going to try.
Okay.
Very few times in one's life do you cross paths with someone who makes your life better. Ron, Lucy, and I found that person. He became family to us. He would be at our house every day, but most days it would be 2 or 3 times, and we loved it. Lucy especially loved for him to come get her for golf cart rides, and he always brought her food. And if he ate with us, or he went out to eat with us, he would say that he couldn't eat all of this, and we all knew that he was saving some for Lucy. When eating at home, he would feed her at the table beside him. We loved our time taking him to the casino, playing cards, which we did 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes more, or just hanging out watching UK basketball games. He enjoyed our derby parties so much. Papa Joe grew up on the north side of Lexington, Kentucky, and we were from the south side. I would kid him and tell him that he was from the wrong side of the tracks. The love that he showed us was truly a family. I could not have loved him anymore if he had been my father. I loved him as much as if he was. He gave us advice, helped us fix things around the house, and was always there when we were remodeling our home.
Us too.
Sometimes he would come and steal Lucy away, opening the door and calling for her to come. Sometimes I knew he was doing it, and other times he was so quiet that I would not hear him. And then he would come home with her and tell me what a bad mom I was, that someone could kidnap my child right under my nose. We were so happy that he felt at home in our house to just walk in anytime. As a matter of fact, if we went to the grocery, church, or whatever, he would come to the house and stay with her or take her with him. We called him Lucy's nanny, and he loved for us to say it. His other great friends were Beverly Welwer and Donna Jacobson. They were our card playing buddies, along with Pam Click most of the time. He loved his card playing and took it very seriously, telling me he was going to take my money. He would come by every afternoon to see if Ron was going to play the skins game on the golf course, and in most cases, if Ron was not going to play, he wouldn't either. Our last night together was June 19th. We were leaving for our trip to Tennessee to help out our friends, which is where we are now. It is a trying time in their life, and he knew how important it was to help them. Joe came over and stayed a lot later than he ever did. He brought us an anniversary card and a card for Lucy. On her card was a dog. It said, I'll miss you. And on the inside it said, since you're leaving, I'll have nothing to wag my tail about. For those of you who know Lucy, she is always wagging her tail. He had, oh my gosh. Thought I was
You're doing wonderful.
He had written a code on it with the initials SUWUGT. It said, use the same code when needed. He told Lucy that in case that we did not treat her well, she could call him and he would come and get her. He always told us that she would call him in the middle of the night to say that we had not fed her, but he said she always called. She did not text. He always told us that he had a tracking device implanted in her body so he would always know where she was. You see, he thought of Lucy as part his, and we had told him we would share her after Stretch had passed away. I told him that I knew what the code meant. He said that I did not, so I said, it says, we'll see you when you get there. He was shocked and told Lucy that they would have to add more to the code, so I would not know. She sat in the couch with him, licking him all over. He always allowed her to do it, and I know he loved her attention. He told us to make sure that she drank nothing but bottled water. So, Papa Joe, Lucy has had nothing but bottled water. He seemed hesitant to leave that night, and little did we know that that would be our last time together, but I think he knew. He had kept telling us that he did not want anything to keep us from taking our trip, and we truly believe that he waited until we were gone to go to the hospital because he knew that he would not have gone, that we would not have gone. On Monday night, I talked to him and told him that he had waited, and he laughed and said, "You think so?" To the world, Joe Martin was a nobody. He wasn't rich or famous, was not a politician that would catch people's attention when his name was mentioned. But to us, he was a somebody. He was kind, compassionate, and had a heart of gold. He will always remain in our hearts and our memories forever. So, Papa Joe, we will see you when we get there. I'm sure you will be at the pearly gates to welcome us, and we will never have to say goodbye again.
Okay. I do just
Very well done.
I do want to thank a couple more people. Brenda, thank you very much for planting that tree. That's
There's
very
a story
sweet.
behind that tree.
I'm sure that there is. You want to come up and share? Okay. And I also, JT did a video for us, and I'm really excited. I can't wait to see that. Thank you so much for that, JT. And Amy, wherever you are, I can't see you, honey. Okay. Thank you for sharing your Christmas and your children with my dad. Because that was very, very important to him. He loved Christmas.
He was
Okay.
our Papa and Grandpa.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. That's all from me. Here's Brenda, and after Brenda tells you her story, we're gonna see a video that JT made, okay? Thank you. Yes, I think so.
2 years ago, I moved in here, kind of under sad situations, but it was a wonderful place to move to. Papa Joe happened to meet me at the place that was being sold. Kathy Wilson, which Chet was one of his best buddies. Papa Joe was waiting at the front of the driveway to show me the house. I had this red butterfly in my hair. He kept hitting at me, just taking his hand, hitting it, trying to hit the thing out of my head. I said, hold it. I want to buy the house. He said, but you've got a bug in your head. And I said, Papa Joe, that's not a real bug. That's my butterfly. Well, I keep that butterfly in my pocket. I keep it in my jewelry box. I hardly ever wear it anymore. I didn't even have this story on my mind today until I was looking at my red shirt, and I said, there's my red butterfly. That's the last time I wore that, when he almost knocked it out of my head. But the tree that was planted because of Chet. I helped him go down and take care of Chet's tree. You know who Chet is. Well, I was helping him water and weed it. My weeder, heaven forbid, it went out. Papa Joe said, you might have known the battery would run low. Well, Papa Joe always had something funny to say, so I took it back home and charged it up. He never said a word about anything else. But I thought, Kathy Wilson called me. She goes, Brenda, what do you think about us putting a tree beside Dad's tree? And let's let them two go together. That's what we did. We planted the tree. They're both up there together. I don't know what they're doing. Lord knows what they're doing. Family, thank you. Sorry, Vicki. Sorry, Frank. I know you lost a great friend. Janice, you've done outstanding. The boys, awesome family. If you didn't meet this family, you don't know what you're missing. They're all awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Does anybody else would like to come up here? You're more than welcome. James or
I'll talk.
who? Joanne?
My name's Joanne Harold. I really wasn't a close friend of Papa Joe's, but Gil and I would fill in and play euchre on Monday night in case they didn't have enough people to play. Boy, did he love to trump my ace, so I bet euchre. And he would just give me a little grin and say, oh well. We had a, what we call, when I started it was called the Not So Talent Show, but Elise made it much greater, so it's the Comedy Review. Papa Joe took part in that. I think my heart stopped beating when he came out on the stage with his bandana and his braids and sang the Willie Nelson song, On the Road Again. Another favorite of his was to sing All the Girls I've Loved Before. Well, he was doing that act, but little did he realize the ladies were going to sabotage it, because we had several that would go up on the stage and just hug him and kiss him, and it would squeeze him, and he's trying to sing, and he has women draped all over him. We loved him. My understanding we called him Papa Joe is because there were so many Joes here in the park, we had to differentiate him. And since he was the oldest, he was Papa. And he loved it when we called him Papa Joe. We will miss him.
Great.
Thank you.
Most of you know me. I'm Bruce Haynes, and Papa Joe, nobody can say enough about him. I mean, he's just one of them guys that you go through this life and you meet certain people that just stick with you the rest of your life, and he's one of those guys. My wife had back surgery, and she was laid up while she was bedridden. My brother-in-law, Louis, had surgery. My sister's having to take care of him. I had open heart surgery at the same time. So guess who was at the hospital with me most of the time? Was Papa Joe, you know. And I'll always remember him. The love that man had for you, you know, just loved him I loved him like a daddy. So your family are just been blessed with having him.
Yes, we have.
That was Papa Joe.
We're on Missy.
I'm Joe Tull, I guess you would say the unofficial caretaker of the Gator Gulch Golf Course. And Papa Joe has been a staunch player down there for a lot of years. His favorite, like he liked to play the other games where you could win some money, was 10-cent skins. And 10-cent skins is something that you wouldn't believe if you hadn't seen it. We get down there and you would think we were playing for $1,000 a skin, but it was cutthroat, it was fun, it was joking, it was laughing, and Papa Joe was right in the middle of it, and he loved to play 10-cent skins. He didn't always win, but the worst you could do was lose $1, and it was always worth $1 to play around the 10-cent skins with a bunch of fun guys and gals, and we had a lot of gals down there too. Papa Joe's arsenal of clubs was a driver, a 7-iron that somebody gave him somewhere along the way, and a putter. In the wintertime, when the grass wasn't too tall, his putter was his #1 club, and he called it his 12-iron. And that was his claim to fame on Gator Gulch. On some of the shorter holes, I would hit my Big Bertha driver, and he would hit his putter and outdrive me. One day we were playing with somebody that was a visitor or a new person, I can't remember.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, I'll tell you how Papa Joe met my mom. Let's see, my dad passed away in '05, and I think Papa Joe moved in around '05, '06, and heard there was a master tileman. And so when she moved into this house, there was carpet in the kitchen and the bathroom and everything. My mom was like, ew. So she called Papa Joe, and he came over and retiled everything. And you know, my mom, if you've all known my mom, she was like, hey, Papa Joe, you don't know anyone, so you're going to golf with me? And she dragged him everywhere. You know, took him to golf, bingo, everything. So he became a big part of our family also, and he came and stayed with us a lot. And then when then he started taking care of my mom because she became sick for about a year and a half. So he was always there for me. You know, I'd leave for a couple weeks, come back for a couple weeks. So he was always there, and you know, always cheering her on. And then we were in the hospital one day, and she looked at me and she goes, "Good God, Amy," she goes, "you're here on another anniversary. You're always here for your birthday. You never get to celebrate with your husband." She looked at Papa Joe and she goes, "You take her to, can't think of the name, Longhorns." She goes, "You have a Longhorns card in your wallet. You go take her to Longhorns." And I was like, okay, you're my date, you know. So we go on in and we sit down, and we're over in Tampa, and I lean over and I put my hand on his hand, and I said, the server came up and I said, "We're on our anniversary." And she didn't, the server didn't blink. She didn't she was like, "Oh my," she just looked, and I couldn't stop laughing. He's trying to keep a straight face, like, and I'm laughing and laughing, and I said, I looked up at her, and she looked at me, and she goes, "You know what?" She goes, "I see this all the time." I was like, darn, I couldn't get her. And Papa Joe walked, so we ate and everything, and we were walking out, and we put our arms around each other on the way out, and I said, "Come on, honey." I said, "Let's go home." And he looked back at the waitress, looked at me, and goes, "Yeah, she's going to say she has another headache." that was my PJ. We called him my kids and I nicknamed him a long time. We called him the PJ Funny Bunny. So if you ever see the little book, I think it's from, it's not Dr. Seuss. I can't remember who wrote it, but it's called PJ Funny Bunny. So, but when Mom passed away, I mean, they were very close. You know, you'll might see some, or hear some of the stories. But when she passed away, I remember Abby looking at me and going, "Can we adopt him?" You know, so he became our grandpa / papa. And I have lots of papas. You know, I still got Papa Joe back there too. Joe back there. So, but yeah, we'll miss him a lot. And I don't know how many times, you know, he was here to building of my house. You know, I just built a house, so he's been up there a lot. And he rode a 4-wheeler with us, and you know, brought his little metal detector and stuff like that. So he'll be truly missed. I pick up the phone all the time and try to grab it, you know, want to call him. But, you know, I know we'll all be together. God put us together for a reason, and we'll all be together in heaven. So, see you, Papa Joe. We love you.
Anybody else want to come up at this time?
Right. Will that cord reach over here?
Well, let's see what we can do.
Won't quite reach, I don't think. Yeah, Mike.
Get pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay, try that.
Hello, I'm James Lampert. I'm from Melbourne, Florida. Papa Joe, we should call him, or Frank Bernard. I mean, Joe Martin, excuse me. He was my brother-in-law, and he took care of my sister when she was on this earth. And when she passed away, he transferred his love from my sister to my younger sister, Vicky, as you all know. And so the two brother-in-laws that I have, including Frank there, are very precious to me. And that's why I came over here today, to be out of respect to both of them. May he be blessed and received wherever he went. Thank you very much.
Anybody else like to step up here? One thing before we turn the video on is I want to mention the golf tournament. We're looking at having a golf tournament for Papa Joe in late October. This particular golf tournament down here at Gator Gulch will be a one-eyed golf tournament. You can have as many clubs as you want, but you can only use one eye. And we have patches already. So it should be a lot of fun. And from my understanding from Jan, the winner gets 10 pounds of Alaskan king crab.
And Uncle Frank's buying.